So, final section of Life After Death in B601, looking at funerals. So, funeral services are an opportunity for the relatives and the friends of the dead person to show their respect and say a final goodbye to them. Christian funeral services are based on teachings of the Bible and contain words and symbols which are chosen to comfort the relatives and express Christian beliefs. If they know that they're dying, a Christian would probably call upon a Christian minister to try and visit them and help prepare them for death. The person might wish to confess their sins to the minister, and for Roman Catholics, they may wish to receive a sacrament, which is known as the anointing of the sick, whereby the person is anointed with the oil of unction, which is consecrated every year by a bishop at the Chrism Mass on Maundy Thursday. Christian funeral services usually take place in a church, and the body is then either buried or cremated. The opening of a funeral service is usually with the reading from this passage from John. "I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me will live, even though he dies, and whoever lives and believes in me will never die." That's John chapter 11, verse 25 to 26. At service, sometimes Christians might have a requiem mass. Churches are often decorated with white flowers to represent the new life with God that the person is now entering. As the body is finally laid to rest, the priest or minister will say, "Ashes to ashes, dust to dust," which is taken from, or at least based on, Genesis chapter 3, verses 19. Candles are lit as a reminder that Christians are saved because Jesus was the light of the world. Also, the rising smoke is sometimes said to represent the soul, or prayers for the soul rising to heaven. A gravestone will be placed at the site later, and these contain details of the person's life and often a prayer or quotation from the Bible. Relatives and friends might put down the flowers on the grave, particularly at Christmas or Easter, or on the date of the dead person's birthday. These are both ways in which people reinforce their beliefs that the person is now with God but is not forgotten. Some key words to consider. I mentioned the anointing of the sick earlier. That's the sacrament given to those who are sick or dying. The Chrism Mass, which is a special Mass that is held on Holy or Maundy Thursday, in which these oils are consecrated. Maundy Thursday was the day on which Jesus ate the Last Supper with his disciples. The oil of unction, well, that's the oil used in the anointing of the sick. And the Requiem Mass is a special Mass that's said at a funeral. Some key biblical texts, just to wrap this up. Genesis 3, verse 19, the idea that you will return to dust. John 8, verse 12, Jesus is the light of the world. John 11, verse 25 to 26, where he says, "I am the resurrection and the life." And from the book of James, chapter 5, verse 14 to 15, there's where we see the anointing of the sick. Just a final thing, although black is a traditional mourning colour for mourning, Christians don't necessarily see funerals as sad events, as actually they celebrate the new life with God which the dead person is now entering.